Here we go.
All right, welcome to the next chapter call. What is today? The 3rd? October 3rd. And we want to have a conversation with all of you about connecting. And I'm looking out there as I say connecting. Does anybody get scared? Oh no, we're going to talk about talking to people. So connecting, why would we talk about that? Because it seems like we hear about that a lot. All the trainings we go to, you hear about connecting, how to connect with people. But why wouldn't we talk about it? Because that is the foundation of what word of mouth company is all about. Have to be able to speak language and to connect with people. So I want to talk about connecting, and I want you to first start out, and a few of you are on video. How many of you, by raise of hand, just love meeting new people in general? Oh, look like Davis said, oh, a little bit. How many of you just love to talk? Okay, enjoy a little bit. David, a little bit stronger on the just talk and not meet new people. Okay, talking to yourself. So, that being the case, I imagine most of us had our hand up there, just love to meet new people. It's exciting, new. Look like we got about the same amount of hands that love to just talk in general. So that being the case, I want you to think about what happens there in between you loving to meet people or loving to talk, and then when Isagenix becomes a part of the conversation, then all of a sudden, like, you don't love it anymore, or you just don't do it, right? So something happens in between there. It's very useful to go and look at, okay, if I'm saying to myself, I love to talk, I love to connect, and then Isagenix comes up, go and look at what is there such that that shifts for you. And so that can be a lot of different things. That could be the idea of rejection, that can be the idea of someone not accepting, or someone maybe challenging you, for instance, about Isagenix, or asking a question that you might not know the answer to, or looking weird. Whatever that might be, it's I think, interesting and very useful to go and look at what might be there for you. So that's what we're really going to try to uncollapse here by getting to a conversation with one of the masters, Joy, and Jocelyn will open that up. But I want you to just think about for a minute. I want you to think about the ease and the freedom that you have when you do just meet new people, right? Because we all raised our hand around that. And I want you to think about the freedom and the ease and how much you like just to talk. And what would it be like for you? Think about if sharing Isagenix was just as easy, you were just as free, and you had just as much fun sharing about Isagenix as you do when you just connect with people out in the world, or you talk with people. And that is the type of freedom that we're talking about, the freedom to share totally unattached. That is our intention for the call, and why we want to talk about connecting and leaving you with that kind of freedom to talk to people, and if it's there, to talk about Isagenix and ultimately build your business around it.
Yeah, and I'm completely on board with living inside the view of sharing is easy and natural. Like, to me, that would just give me so much freedom. This is something Aaron and I were talking about. Just like, what if not only you felt that sharing was natural and easy, and it was almost awkward if it wasn't natural and easy, but also that people you brought onto your team, for them, it's natural and easy to share. And I noticed a huge shift, because I know a lot of you not only want to grow your own teams, but you want to build other leaders. You want to build a whole team and organization. So I'm going to keep speaking to the leader in you. And I'm guessing that all of you would be okay with the fact, or you would be okay if the people you enroll found it easy to share, and that people they were sharing with found it easy. Would you guys be okay with that? If there was this ripple effect of it's easy, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. And that really started to unfold for me this year. You know, we've been building this business now for a little over 2.5 years. And I feel like just this year, I've really, and it doesn't have to take you that long. I'm inviting you into this context now, whether you're in day 1, 90, 6 months in, wherever you're at. I'm noticing that if I truly do believe that it is natural and easy to share, not only is my energy around that and our enrollments increasing, but the people we're enrolling are sharing more and it's easy and natural. For example, now that I have this new view, right? Because everything's coming from how you view things. So if you view it's easy and natural for everyone to share, and that's your energy and that's how you share. For example, like the women and the men we've been enrolling lately, it's more natural and people are sharing even if they don't want to do the business because we're coming from that energy. So for example, even Hilda, she's on the call tonight and another gal of hers is enrolling someone right now. Why? Because we enrolled Hilda with the energy of sharing is natural and easy, and therefore she's enrolling people with the energy of sharing is natural and easy. So these gals that have been enrolling on her team, they're not even necessarily trying to do the business. They just feel like it's natural and easy. So that's what all of tonight, even though you're going to hear Joy and, and us share little bits of how you could do this, how that, if you leave with anything else tonight, I hope it's that you tell yourself every day forward, every minute forward, sharing is natural and easy. And honestly, it's like reprogramming your brain and the energy you're going to bring on your teammates with.
Well, and we already just mentioned sharing is natural and easy, but we've already established that because everyone raised their hand like they love to talk and they love to connect. So sharing Isagenix and the solutions becomes natural and easy.
There you go. Okay, so getting even more specific with sharing Isagenix is natural and easy. So are you guys on board with that sort of like the where you can live from? Does that sound good to you guys? Raise your hand if it sounds good. Cool. Okay. So just soak that in. Sharing Isagenix is natural and easy. And everyone I bring on is going to feel like sharing Isagenix is natural and easy. Okay. So we're going to circle back with a little bit more content. But first, because what you're going to notice with these team calls is we actually want people like Aaron and myself, Lindsay, Elliot, Eva, Drew, some of us who've been in the team a little bit longer to actually be talking less and less. We really see the vision of this, a month from now, a couple months from now, where we're just little guests and you guys are leading these conversations. So you're going to see more and more people coming on to lead the conversation because there are pros in this team. And we really want to, give voice to that. So for example, Joy, she's going to be speaking a bit tonight. And this woman is so inspiring, not only because she's a fantastic mom. If you see Joy on social media, you just have to see her kids are so happy. They're having so much fun. They get to experience so much. And I've seen her in person with her kids, and she's so graceful and so beautiful and patient with them. But also she's a powerful leader in her community. She's supportive for her friends, her family. I can tell the difference she makes. And she's come on this team with she has transformed. I don't even want to give a number to it because for her, she's changed so many lives already by sharing the gift of Isagenix. Drew enrolled her, and I know that they had a great way they got started. So Joy, first I just would love for you to, share, in a way, share your 30-second story just to give us an idea of before Isagenix, with Isagenix, and just so we know that what difference it made for you.
Okay, well, thank you for that introduction. That was amazing. I hope everyone's having a good night. And I want to thank you for, allowing me to speak and for your listening tonight. Ultimately, when I first started Isagenix, I was actually very skeptical. Drew reached out to my husband, Egbert, and he was already on a weight loss kind of program. And, we've been married for 16 years. And throughout the 16 years, his weight has been always up and down, going through different types of exercise and diets and this and that. And he reached out to him And Egbert's like, you know, I think I'm gonna try it out. And then I was like, okay, you do what you want. It's just another gimmick, you know. It's just, you know, all you have to do is just eat right and eat less or eat whatever and exercise more. And he's like, well, why don't you do it with me? And I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I could try it out, right? So I talked to Drew, and he told me it's not about just weight loss, it's about getting healthier and getting more tone, which is where I was kind of trying to achieve myself personally. So I got on board and I listened to him, and really like 2 weeks in, like my husband changed, like his whole context, his whole personality, everything changed about him. He literally lost like, I think now 3.5 months in, 33 pounds. And I mean, he has like transformed himself, like emotionally, mentally, physically. I'm like married to a new man, you know. I was happy with him before, but now it's just there's a shift in him that I can't explain. And from that shift that I've seen in him, that's what makes me so excited about sharing this with other people, because I believe in the product. I've seen the results. I've experienced the shift in him that is like completely like new being that I can't describe and explain unless you're married to him. So from that point, I was like, there is something to this. And I have so many friends who are also in the same boat of, you know, going through different weight loss programs and struggling and stuff like that. So I was just like saying, how could I share this with them? And that's where the business part came in. And I was like, you know, let me give this a try. And instead of just keeping quiet about it. Sorry.
No, he's adorable. He's so cute. I love that.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, baby. Wait. You gotta go. And yeah, so that's my story about Isagenix and how I started on this product and in the system.
I love it. Well, wow, cool teeth, man. What's up?
Well, so one thing I like to point out that I'm really getting from myself that might make a difference for all of us is Joy is really clear in the difference that made for Egbert, but then the experience that you now had, right? And all too often, I am not as present to that real difference that Isagenix has made for me. I mean, not just like an idea, but I actually sleep now. It used to take me 45 minutes to go to sleep, and now it's 2 minutes. I have energy all throughout the day when I was falling asleep at 2 in the afternoon. And so there's like the world of how Isagenix has actually allowed me to experience myself that I'm not coming from when I share all the time. So Joy, I mean, that's the one thing I took away already is it's really clear the difference, the experience and emotionally it's made for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like I said, it's life-changing. It's priceless. I mean, ultimately, that's what I tell people. It's priceless. And if I could tell you about anything, I mean, if you change the way you view yourself physically, right? Because a lot of times we go through life and we're like trying to achieve something, and then we don't get there, and then we just become complacent and content or whatever it is. But you know, with just seeing him have that experience, it's like truly priceless.
Wow.
So amazing. And I love that you were skeptical even before you started, because that just shows truly the change. Well, I love that. So share with us, because sharing has been, you know, natural and easy for you. How, I guess before we get into how you say things, what you say, how is it that you view talking to people about Isagenix in general, just so that we can step into your view of what that's like?
For me, my whole context of sharing is really from the space of serving them, right? I feel like I have the knowledge and the knowledge base of what I know about Isagenix, and they might not be fully aware of it, or even how the body actually works. A lot of people feel like it's about exercising more and eating less. And I tell people, no, that's in starvation mode. You have to get out of that mode. And a lot of people don't even know. I have a lot of physician friends who obviously knows a lot about their body, but for them, they can't even get that concept, you know, until they start the system. And they're like, oh, you're right. It's just about eating more and eating right. And then the body will do its own thing like it's supposed to do. But yeah, so for me, it's all about serving and sharing my knowledge. It's never about closing a sale. It's never about, even enrolling. I'm never attached to them enrolling even within that conversation. If the enrollment does happen, great. If they want to take it on, they see something for themselves, I'm so happy for them. And I'm so excited for them to start their journey. So for me, it's about really just simply sharing. Like if I found a good deal, a good coupon, I share with people. It's just like that.
I love that. Okay, so being of service. So we're all stepping into being of service because that's beautiful. So share with us, because you have a full life, not only with your family, but you're involved in many things. So where do you find these conversations are happening?
It's funny. I do it during playground time when I drop off the kids. I connected with someone at the grocery store as I was waiting in line, and we're all standing there waiting for the next person to be done. Anywhere really. I even spoke to I was scanning my car service, and then I was talking to the person that was dealing with my car. So basically anywhere, anytime, I just kind of talk. And if I have 2-3 minutes for free, I'm staying around doing nothing, I just kind of talk to people. And I just ask them, how's your day? It's just simple as that. And you just start connecting. And for me, the main thing is that since I have children, it's easiest for me to connect with them with their children, kind of thing. It's like, oh, where do your kids go to school? How old are they? And kind of stuff like that.
I love that. Okay, so definitely what I'm hearing is that you're just present, you're aware wherever you are, grocery store, car service, and you're just interested in just having conversations with people, and you're unattached if it turns into an Isagenix conversation.
Right.
So now, like if you're out there living, which is a huge thing that, has made a difference for us too, is just being more present and being more aware of our surroundings, who's there. So when you are talking to people, what are you listening for, or how do you know when to then bring up Isagenix?
For me, I always talk about about kids. And then if there's kids involved, I say, oh, do your kids play sports? And, it's hard to say how the conversation actually go to Isagenix. There's not really a specific thing. But sometimes I just ask, because they say, oh, like they'll compliment, you're in good shape. Like, what do you do? Kind of stuff like that. And I say, oh, yeah, and then I just go into Isagenix, or I ask them, if they go to the gym. I mean, it's so silly. I just ask them random questions, honestly, about anything that has to do with health or fitness or kids. So there's nothing specific so much. And I think just from me being like kind of open about stuff, they kind of relate to that. I don't really have a gimmick or somewhere to go, a direction to go. I just simply are just talking and having conversations.
Yeah, and that I totally get that, because that's just so who you are. It so easily comes to you. But if you can think of a couple of specific interactions with, all of a sudden Jocelyn was like, do you have some examples of some of those people, like when you're in a grocery line, or like what are some of the questions that you're just randomly asking?
Well, the one lady that I actually connected to, and she might be actually interested in doing the business, we're still kind of in the conversation mode, is that, she was just saying there, she had like 3 products in her thing. And I had like a bunch of yogurt. I had a bunch of like food that's really sucked, because my daughter Caitlin just had braces. And she's like, that's a lot of yogurt you're buying. I was like, yeah, it's braces food right now, because she can't chew on anything. So all she wants to eat is yogurt. And I said, oh, I see that you have 3 things. Like, is that dinner? So I just go from there. And she's like, no, I'm a health nutritionist, and I go to people's house and I show them how to cook healthy, So from that point on, I said, oh, that's so great. And, she's like, are you a stay-at-home mom? I said, I am a stay-at-home mom, but I also do Isagenix as a business. So we kind of connected that way, just from looking at the groceries.
I love it. I love that you're kind of just answering questions or asking questions that are just right there. You're noticing things like their dinner. What's another example? Like when you're at the car shop, like what might be some of the things you're thinking? Because what's for you really natural, others are learning. Even I've gone through different learning spaces of, what do I pick up on? What do I ask? So what might you ask someone when you're at like the car mechanic?
Okay, well, my car mechanic name is Steve, and I know him well because, over years of interactions, we talk and stuff like that. And so I say, hey, Steve, and he's overweight, and obviously I've never asked him about his weight or anything like that, but we've always talked about family. I would say, how's your wife? How are your kids? And stuff like that. And then the conversation usually ends in 2 minutes once I sign the paperwork. But then this time around, I was like, I'm going to bring it up. Even this was actually kind of awkward for me, my awkward moment, because how do I bring it up when I never brought it up in the past? And he's not someone that I actually know or interact with except 2 or 3 times a year, right? So I was thinking, for a second, I was like, do I even bring it up? Is it going to be awkward? Is he going to be offended, kind of thing? But I was like, I'm just going to get over my story and the voices in my head. I'm just going to go for it. Because we've already established that type of friendship where, he knows me for me. So I was just like, hey, Steve, I just have one quick, a question for you. How are you doing health-wise? Are you, looking to get healthier? Like how, just let me, tell me about yourself kind of thing, And he's just like, oh, I'm so glad that you asked me that because I see that you're carrying the Isagenix bottle around, and I kind of wanted to ask you, but then I didn't. So it's kind of, so the conversation just opened up from there. So he was even wanting to ask me, but he didn't know what to say. And so it's kind of like something simple as that. I just bluntly ask, how's your health? Are you happy where you are health-wise?
I love that. I love that that's a more direct approach. So you shared kind of more indirect, grocery line, just kind of asking questions that maybe lead to a health conversation. Whereas right there, you were more direct. And sometimes that's all there is to do is just be direct. Hey, how's your health? Or, hey, how have you been feeling with nutrition? And it's asking a valuable question. Mm-hmm. So rather than just being like, how's the weather? Like you're asking a valuable question that makes a difference in people's lives. So I love that direct approach. And, he could have said, oh, it's fine. Great. Okay. And who knows where you would have taken that conversation. But if you ask 100 people that question, many people might be like, wow, thanks so much for asking. Maybe 50% won't, maybe 50% will, but then that leads to a further conversation. So I love the direct approach. So now let's say with people.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that that I started to look at for myself was I needed to know, and I was talking to Elliot about this earlier, for me, I needed to set myself accountable to the number of conversations I was having. And for me personally, has made a huge difference. I actually write on the bottom of my passion planner, ACT, the C standing for communications, the number of communications I'm having every day. Now, I'm just wondering for you, Joy, are you setting an intention to, like you're already doing, to talk to somebody at a grocery store, talk to the car mechanic? Are you setting that you talk to a certain number of people per day, or for you, are you just anytime you're around someone, you're just talking to them?
Yeah, I set an intention of who I want to reach out from the group of people that I know. I do that on a daily basis, but in terms of strangers, it's just whoever I come across, whenever I come across. I do make the intention of actually putting myself out there, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what I'm hearing too, like, even not related so much to numbers, but I'm guessing you're walking around not looking down at your phone. No. Like, you're not, so like you're aware, and that gives me something, like even myself, like I sometimes look at those little gaps of time as, oh, I could check my messages, whereas I could see even more conversations opening up if I was like you and more present and just, right. Oh, I'm in the grocery line, just be there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, for sure. Yeah, so whenever I'm near somebody, I kind of talk to them.
Yeah, okay, good. And we, some of us might need to work up the courage to, getting to feel as comfortable as you, but I'm up for getting more courage. And everyone else up for more courage, getting outside our comfort zones? So now let's say that you've connected with them and Isagenix has maybe started to open up and they're like, yeah, I'm interested. how do you then, set up the next conversation, or how do you, make sure that with someone at the grocery store, there's a follow-up next?
Well, like with someone at the grocery store, I simply just ask, do you have a card or a number that we could exchange? And I would love to, give you a call and tell you more about Isagenix. Every time I start a conversation or in the middle, or if they have an interest in what I have to say, I always get the information, and I always say, when is a good time to call you, or when can we meet up? So there's always something to follow up to. I don't just let it go and leave it up in the air, because if I leave it up in the air, or if I say, why don't you call me, it doesn't ever happen,
Yep.
And it's not because they don't want to call you. They also just get busy with their own life, and it's not a high priority on their list of things that they have to do. So I always make the intention of say, okay, let me have your number if I don't already have it, or how about I call you tomorrow, or is it better the next day, or this weekend, kind of thing.
Brilliant. That's amazing. That's awesome. So you have, gotten their contact information, and you've set up the next time to talk. Now, I'm guessing you just say that really naturally. Another thing that you and I had talked about, where'd Joy go? I think she disappeared. Oh, there you are. Okay. It moved spots. I got all confused. Is that, when you and I were connecting yesterday, we talked about just being your true self. You don't say it a certain way, try to sound scripted. Mm-hmm. So, tell me about how you feel in that moment when you're asking them for their contact information, or, setting up the next exposure.
Well, for me, what do you mean? You want to know how
do you feel? And are you trying to say it a certain way, or are you just doing?
I mean, once again, for me, it's simply just sharing. Like, I don't take things personally if they say no. I'm just not attached to the result. I'm just like, I feel like I have a gift to give you, So if you really want to take it on and listen more, then I'm so happy for you, kind of thing. But I don't make it weird or awkward, So I'm just like, if you really, I ask them first, would you like to know more? And if you do, let's exchange information. If I don't know them, it's a total stranger. And I did that with a couple people already. I even actually connected with someone at the airport coming home from the event. She's also an Isagenix rep, and I'm actually going to her launch party tomorrow night.
Oh, cool.
Just to experience, she invited me, said, come on over, and, we'll share with you what we are doing and stuff like that. So it's just ease. I mean, that's all there is. I just say, let's exchange number. And they say no, that's fine, because I feel like timing for everyone's everything. Also, we're all on a journey, and we all have different timing. So if they say no, they're not saying no to me. They have other things going on in their life, and that's just that.
I want to share something that you said that I just want to highlight that's so good. How you said no, you have a gift, and whatever their response is, a no is not personal.
Yeah.
Now, for all of us, I want us to just think about that. Do we all really have no is not personal? And I want to also say this, a yes is not personal to you either.
Right.
So no matter what you're saying, you are sharing a gift, and whatever they say, it's not personal. A no and a yes is not for you. It's not about you. It's about them. And like Joel, you're saying, the timing. So even when you get a yes, I am getting for myself, not even to make that personal, like, now I'm like nervous because I don't know, oh man, they were a yes, I wasn't ready for that. Or like, even that's not personal. You're just really providing a service and sharing a gift, and it's all really, and if you think about yourself, if somebody came up to you and asked you the same question, you're thinking about the value for yourself. Does this have value for me? Yes or no? This is still about the person over here. It doesn't have anything to do with the person even asking over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, for sure.
And there was something also that I had two, kind of final questions is, when you are kind of going back to the sharing of Isagenix, are you sharing more so how you've felt and the difference it's made for you, or are you explaining Isagenix like their solutions, just so we can get a glimpse? Like, do you just really share kind of your 30-second story, how it's made a difference for you, or do you go into kind of explaining cleansing and kind of more the detail?
Well, then that comes into more of the conversation when I do have the conversation with them. That doesn't necessarily come in that brief interaction. And how I handle that situation is really I listen to what they have to say, and it's based on the conversation that I'm having with them. Sometimes it is all informational because they're more informational type people, and that's what they really want out of the conversation. So I go in that direction. And sometimes they're more in the direction of like wanting me to actually tell them about my experiences and what I've seen and how it's been beneficial to me and the people I've already enrolled. So it's like a dance. It's never a script. It's never with an intention of what I have to say or what I want to come across in the conversation. Just like you said, it's all about them and their concerns. And what I'm bringing to the table is really just my own knowledge and personal experience that I've had with Isagenix, and I relate it to their concerns. And that's just simply as that.
I love that. Listening. We could not say that louder, but listening. And I love that because you're listening to the question they're asking. So if they're asking an informational question, you're answering it informationally. If they're asking more experiential, listening is so powerful, guys. So that's so great. Well, I just have gotten so much value from this, and I really just would love to hear, your final, actually one last one, because you're so good. You're so powerful. Now that you've, enrolled several people, how are you creating the culture of sharing is natural and easy with the people you've enrolled such that they're sharing and enrolling as well?
Well, actually, this is where I have to work on. For me, I'm very aware that it's easy for me to enroll people personally. It's stepping outside of that that I actually have to really work on a lot more. And I'm aware of that for sure. I mean, the people that I've enrolled, I've told them, it's just like, let's just share. You're not trying to sell anything. And, just like how it's benefited you and you're happy where you are, you could share this gift with other people, whether it's your friends, your family, or people, or strangers. I mean, I'm kind of coaching them on, it's about sharing, not selling, or even making a business at this point in time. So that's where I know I'm kind of weak on, because I also have a hard time not enforcing, but kind of like saying that this is the steps and how to do it, because not everyone is in the same comfort zone of sharing. So
yeah, I love, and thank you for just, acknowledging the areas you want to grow, because we all have an area we want to grow. I know for myself, I still have an area I want to grow. And we can, we talk, that's a whole other call, but just a quick, since it's right there and other people might be like, yeah, me too, I'm enrolling, but the duplication, where I've seen a ton of growth is in the tour I do of the back office. So if you haven't watched the tour of the back office, that's how I show people how easy it is to enroll. And I, throughout the calls, talk to people about who's noticing and everything. So if you haven't seen the back office tour, it's on our team YouTube page. It's called, I think it's called Back Office Tour Like a Boss or something like that. And that will, that's at least for me and several others, increase duplication. But we can always go back. We'll do more calls on that too, Joy, because I think that's for many people, what people want to break through. So I guess final thing there for sharing, connecting, and following up is, what's your final joyful tip? Or joyful note, that you could leave with everyone.
Well, for me, like the one thing that is always present in my conversation, right? No matter what the conversation is about, whether it's Isagenix or just talking to a friend or anything like that, there's always these 4 fundamentals of leadership that I always apply. And now it's actually using me. I don't even think about it. It's just a part of the conversation. But it's been really helpful with the conversation around Isagenix. One is really authenticity. 2 is integrity. 3 is being cause in the matter. So when you're sharing and stepping out of that comfort zone, you're being cause in the matter for somebody else, right? And the 4th one is being committed to something bigger other than yourself. So those are the 4 things that I'm always present to in my conversation around Isagenix or anything else.
So powerful. I mean, just amazing. Is everyone so grateful for Joy and what she shared? Give a thumbs up. Even if you're like, don't have your screen up, give a thumbs up. So thank you, Joy, so much. And thank you for being a powerful leader, for, creating space in your life to make a difference with people, because there are, you could be like, I've got too much, but you truly just keep on giving the gift, and it's really powerful to watch.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for being an awesome leader.
Oh, David says thank you. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, so a couple of things I wanted to mention that I'd heard inside of that. The power of getting and feeling your own experience with Isagenix does so many things that I just got, reminding me of something that Susan Sly said too. If you're finding that, or if any of us are finding that connecting is seeming difficult, I would go check in on, are you feeling your own experience? And the reason that is because when we do, we get certain about the value that Isagenix can add. And what is it that people are really looking for to be a yes or to step in and join anything is certainty. Because that individual person, that's what they're looking for. They might not be certain about themselves or how they're going to reach specific health goals. So as we are all out in life, aren't we looking for those places where we can gain certainty? So getting present to your own experience that Isagenix gives you the place you can stand inside of certainty, and you can just share your story from being certain. And that's what people are really attracted to, is being certain. You could have someone that's like, well, I'm not sure. And when you hear someone talk about their own experience, and also when someone goes and asks you, well, what about this ingredient? What about that ingredient? How do you do this? What does this do to the body? You know what? I don't know. But all I can tell you is I feel, I look, I have, whatever, and you share your experience, and you get a certain level of certainty from that. And then that's really what I want to say about that.
Okay. Some things and that's so powerful, so true. Just on the kind of zooming out a little bit from this conversation, because I know people attending and people that are going to be watching this recording are in, different phases of growth. And I just want to remind everyone that really in building a powerful, large, and profitable network marketing organization, I have 2 parts to this. One is there really aren't that many skills to master. So if for you, you're like, wow, connecting, I really want to grow there. I want to refer back to Eric Worre's Go Pro. We have the audio CD, but it's also in a book form. And he talks about the 7 steps. So he breaks it down to literally becoming a network marketing professional, creating whatever it is that you're here to create: abundance, wealth, a large team, whatever excites you, pumps you up. It's 7 skills that if you just kind of objectively look at, hey, okay, here's where I want to grow and develop. And you just practice that for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Then you move on to next skill. Like, for example, Joy, she's a master connector and enroller, and her next place to grow is in duplication. Well, good thing that's a skill here. One of the 7. So I just want to encourage you all to just keep practicing each of those skills. And before you know it, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're a professional, and it happens naturally. The second thing I want to just provide is context coming back, because Joy really provided so much of the how. But learn this as quickly as possible. If you've been sharing maybe once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, that's great, and I want to acknowledge you for that. But if you want to really learn rapidly and become a professional in 90 days, 120 days, share with 3, 4, 5 people a day. Those can be grocery store trips, family, friends. And you will learn so fast, and you will move through the skills. You'll move through the sharing and connecting to now, developing leaders. You'll move through those skills. So that's what I really want to encourage you is stepping into the space that we created earlier, which was sharing is natural and easy. Have it be something that happens multiple times a day. And by the end of the week, you look back at your calendar and you're like, wow, I've talked to 20 people. And, 10 of those want more information. And 5 of those I've scheduled calls. You'll have these follow-ups and you're going to, at the end of the month, be like, I enrolled 5 people. And, and just, it'll keep growing it faster and faster. Where it felt painful in the beginning was when it was like, I talked to 1 person a week and I'm like, why is my team not growing? Why? Because it's frankly comes down to the number of people you talk to. And so just like Joy said, it's not personal, but how many, go ahead, what were you going to say?
Oh, well, no, you said the number of people you talk to. Here's a couple action steps to take away. 1, share your story. Share your experience, how you feel, look, or have. Share your experience with 100 people. Just go do that. Just don't even be trying to do anything else. Just share your experience with 100 people in a month.
I love it. I'm willing to do that. And
wait, I got number 2.
Oh, Aaron's got action steps.
It's not necessarily action, but go and look for understanding people's whys, understand what is important to them, understand people's whys, and then make as many whys a reality as possible.
That's good. Make as many whys as possible. So make people's dreams a reality and what they really want.
Well, I mean, and here we're talking about health and finances also. So go find out why someone would want to be healthy or why financial freedom would be important to them, and then have our goal be make as many whys a reality as possible.
I love it. And then I just want to refer back to resources, because what I always want present is we are not recreating the wheel. And you don't have to recreate the wheel for yourself, for your teammates. And so anyone I coach, anyone I'm working with, anyone I hope you're working with, and yourself, that you're always going back to isagenixbusiness.com. So I want to share my screen. And so many of these resources are on here. So your team wants to know, well, what kind of questions do I ask? Here's a PDF, examples of questions to ask. And I'll show you where this is at. So this is in, let me move it. So that I'm on the business page. I went to start here under connect. So you have questions that can be connecting. So if your team is struggling with connecting, are you pointing them to the resource? Even going back to step 2, creating your 30-second story. If you've been feeling awkward or uncertain of how to share your story, have you gone through how to create a 30-second story, which is on this PDF. Before I was introduced, and here's some examples. So everything we're talking about, everything Joy is talking about, it's all in Isagenix Business, because I know that you're on here for yourself, but even more so, I hope you're on here for your team and your future team. And where you're going to see duplication 10, 20 levels deep is by using the tools. And it's all on here. None of this is recreated. It is literally step by step. Use the products, make your list, connect, share Isagenix. So if you haven't been on here in a while, I encourage you to review. And anyone you're sharing with, and I'm going to do a quick sneak peek to the back office tour that I did, is I have people I enroll in the back office tour. I have them open up a new tab. I go, open up a new tab. I did that. Type in isagenixbusiness.com. They do that. I say, here's what's going to happen. People are naturally going to notice your results. And I want you to know what to do when that happens. And I have them see this, and I have them know where this is at. And you will be surprised, people who don't want to do the business end up sharing. Why? Because I made it natural and easy, and I showed them where the resources are. So I'm just ending with that, because I know that you want to go beyond even your enrollments and your sharing being natural and easy, but everyone you share with and you enroll, it's natural and easy for them to share too. So any closing notes there?
Yeah, I was looking at the time. So I'd like to just take this to a little bit deeper since I have the time on the platform.
Probably 5 minutes.
Yeah, this would be less than that. So I heard yesterday that the biggest hurdle for human beings is this. We live in a body that is going to die, and the biggest hurdle for human beings is that we live like it's not going to. And so the thing, why I say that is because it really hit me yesterday that, man, it's so true. And what am I doing today, or how am I living today that I think I have all the time in the world, like I'm going to be around forever, and what does that keep me from doing? What is that actions does that keep me from doing today? Who does that keep me from making a difference with today? What does that limit me and myself by thinking that living in this body that is going to die, that it's not going to? And I would like to read something I wrote down from a team training that really inspired me at the time. So this call has been amazing because I went back and looked at some notes and I really saw this again for myself. So just bear with me. The time is now. And I'm writing this down for myself, so I'd really like to share this authentically. If you are alive and old enough to create yourself and live in the United States, you do not have the right to complain. And I underlined that for myself. Especially if you are a white male. Your grandparents would punch you in the face for the resources, the technology, and the reach that I have to design my life. If I have a side opportunity to have physical and financial abundance, and I don't want to hear anything except gratitude. And I was writing that for myself. So really powerful to have me get present to that. I wrote that down at some point, and how easy it is that our mindset starts to go back into its automatic way of thinking. And I'm speaking again for myself, when really this is so powerful to me because I could have been born in 1930, and when I was this age, I'd be fighting in a world war. I could have been born in 2016 in another country, a developing country where there's bombs and there's wars, and God put me in the United States, born in 1985, such that in 2016, I would have the opportunity to create my life, connect to the Spirit, and live inside of abundance, which not everybody really has the opportunity to do. So ultimately, I mean, that's what we're all here for, is to share this gift with everyone. And that brings me back to just kind of get present of what is all going on in the world and the true opportunity that I have living in the time that I do.
And perfect timing for him to say that, because if some of you don't know, Aaron retired from his job last week. And so it's just so fitting that he got to see that too, because he really does keep present gratitude for this opportunity. And that's what I hope that we all remember, is that this is an opportunity, not an obligation. And we, like he said, our grandparents would probably be like, what? You have the opportunity to literally go on this computer thing, sign people up to something, talk to them, message people, like
reach the entire world in a second.
We truly have such a gift. And so I hope that, thank you for presencing that, Aaron, that you really get that sharing this gift, like Joy said, being of service, sharing a gift, that's what this really is. And people are praying for it. So, go out there, let's live for something bigger than ourselves. I know that's why you're on this call, and I want to acknowledge you all for being on this call, because that shows the kind of person that you are, or listening to the recording, that just really shows the type of person you are, that you're thinking outside of yourself. And that is so beautiful. And if that's what the world needs, is people thinking outside of themselves. So thank you for showing up. And please let us know anything that we can ever do. Keep on rocking it, guys. Stronger together.
Drew.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.